and welcome to Rewatch Party. Well, I'm a peanut bar, and I'm here to say that your checks will arrive on another day, another dime, another rhyme, another dollar, another stuffed shirt in another white collar. Criminals, Wall Street, taking the pie, and all the black man gets his later.
Zach, you have to. You're having another episode.
I'm sorry, I don't know what that was.
Zach, you're in a different sitcom. We're not talking about
I'm sorry.
Community.
Zach, the listeners don't understand why we're doing this yet.
I'm sorry, I don't know what that was. I need a moment. I need a moment to recover.
Zach, what's your name?
What is my name?
What's your name, social security number, and birthday?
We do it at the beginning of every podcast. I need you to do it so I can do it.
I'm Zach Horowitz.
I'm Mark Green.
And I'm Harrison Bloom. And we are talking about...
Jim Rash is in this episode.
Yeah. Jim Rash is in the last episode of that 90s show.
This may have been the most intricate intro we've ever done.
Yeah. Tweet at Rewatch Party Pod to tell us if it worked.
Tweet me at Zach of Hearts. Just tweet me, please. I'm very lonely.
Yeah. And if you see me on the street, yell. I need someone to talk to.
Nothing in particular, just yell.
Yeah, just go like, hey, Mark.
As we've established, he might run up to you, kick you in the shins, try to run away, and then trip, and then shout, don't look at me. So definitely run away.
I've said so many things on this podcast I have vague memories of only.
I am looking forward to the day when I hope this happens at some point, where like in the future someone comes up to me and recognizes me from the podcast. I don't know why they would, and comes at me with like a very niche reference to something I said one time, and I'm like, oh yeah, that thing, and I leave and I'm like, what the fuck did I just...
We should get to that 90s show, but I really thought you were gonna say you're looking forward to the day where you can show your kids podcast.
Where I can show my kids this episode.
Yeah. We're burning this podcast if we have kids. Yeah. We're scrubbing we're burning the internet down if we... Yeah. Oh, just kidding. I love this podcast. I'm showing my kids to it.
Guys, it's the last episode of season 1 of that 90s show. Leia's gonna have to leave Point Place. So she's taking... I know, it's terrible.
Yeah.
This has never happened to anyone. It's the worst thing that has ever happened to anyone.
Yeah. But Leia's having fun on her last night. She has a disposable camera. She has 23 photos and has entrusted Nikki to it. Or rather, she has 24 photos. Yeah,
she has 24 photos and she says, I don't want to waste them. And then she accidentally burns one on a picture of Ozzy's butt, which, might I say, it's not a waste.
No.
Yeah, it's not a waste.
It's not a waste.
Definitely not.
Ozzy's butt. Take pride in Ozzy's butt.
I feel like if I had a Kodak camera and I had 24 pictures, I'd like only take pictures of butts.
You just described Instagram's business model. There you go.
Ayo!
Ayo! I was gonna say you have like 2 Polaroid cameras, one for normal uses and one exclusively for butts.
Yes.
No, I think that's
as you
a
should.
Good business model. Anyway, Jay and Nate come in. Jay got snacks. Nate got a keg.
The same keg from 4th of July.
The same keg.
Yes, the same
I
keg.
love that they have not finished the keg all summer.
Yeah. Well, I like, there's famously the That 70s Show episode, The Keg, where they hold a party because they got a keg. These are 5 teens. So, like, yeah, it's taken them a while.
Yes.
I also just want to point out, Nate says that he dropped it when he wandered into a spider web.
Here's my question about Nate.
Our good sweet boy.
Here's my question for Nate. He says that he took care of it like it was his baby until he dropped it down the steps. My question was, where was he keeping a keg all summer long?
In a crib, in a nursery, because he took care of it like it's a baby. Don't you listen to the show, Harrison?
I love the idea of him having like a giant crib for the keg.
I disagree. I think he kept it in a crib in the woods where he does his karate against a tree. That has to be where the crib is.
That's gotta be. That's the only explanation.
Yeah.
It has a very earthy taste.
Yeah, I think he kept it in a little diaper and fed it warm milk and had it in a crib and maybe
Did he
played
draw a little
classical.
face on it?
No, Zach. What? That's ridiculous. It's a keg. It's not a baby. It's not a sack of flour.
I love the idea of, I don't know, Jay, you know, doing a keg stand, and then he spits it out and drops down and says, "Why is there spoiled milk in the keg? And why is there a face drawn on it?"
You don't care about our child. Tyler just wants to point out that he hid it in Candyland, the famous hiding spot from
Of
that
course.
Yeah, that's what happened. The baby thing was crazy. I don't know where I came up with that. Anyway, they're all hanging out and they're having a good time. They all get drunk and sing "I Wish." They all wish they were a little bit taller. They wish they were a baller. I don't know the rest of the song.
I don't know the rest of the song either. I wish I did.
Yeah. A cat in a hat in a box with a fox.
Cat.
Green eggs and ham.
Would you?
Red fish, blue fish.
Just start rapping a completely different song.
Yeah. Well, I'm a peanut bar and I'm here to say.
I'm going crazy.
Is this the first episode of Rewatch Party we've started with a musical bits?
Maybe.
Probably.
I think so.
Yeah.
As I said, I don't remember most of what I say on this podcast.
No.
And therefore
Most
I'm
things
not
I
legally
say-
responsible for it.
That's why I say we need to burn the internet down. If we don't know what we've even said, just imagine all the stuff we have said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they all sing "I Wish." We don't know the lyrics, but thankfully they do. They all party.
Yep.
And then after that, they're just like hanging out. The energy's crashed. Leia asks Ozzy, "Are you going to be sad when I'm gone?" And he says, "No."
He isn't very good at it. He needs to
You know what?
just
I
let go.
appreciate Ozzy saying it up front. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
want people to be honest with their feelings. Like, you don't want to
Exactly.
be led on. For example, Zach, I hate you.
Thank you for telling me this information, Mark.
You're welcome.
I
think
hate
you're
you
a
too.
stinky little piss boy.
Sorry.
And-
Sorry. I strongly dislike you, Mark.
Oh, thank you.
Zach, I only hung out with you in high school for your basement. Yeah. We would actually hang out there a lot when you weren't there. It was kind of weird.
It's okay. I have a really cool basement.
You have a Wii U in that basement.
Yeah, drugs are cool, but you know what else is cool? The Wii U I have in my basement.
Things that
true.
have never been said ever except by Harrison Bloom.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. You used to say that all the time. Guys, I don't like drugs. I like the Wii U.
Guys, who needs to go to this party when you have Star Fox Zero on the Wii U?
That's the only high I need.
I was trying to think of a Wii U game, and it's like, oh my god, what would be the funniest one to say? That's what I
Star
landed
Fox
on.
Zero, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good for that. But yeah, Ozzy's bad at expressing his emotions. He's not like us. Everything we just said was absolutely true. And Nate says something about like, I'm glad it can be so cool between you two even after you broke up with Leia. Which is the first time Leia is hearing that Jay wanted to break up with her.
I thought they were gonna
Good
be
plan.
in the Frasier alcove of secrets when they said that, but it turns out they
Yeah.
said it completely out loud, which
Yeah.
which is so great because. Excuse me, Jay. It's the last night. When did you
Yeah.
expect to
Yeah.
have this conversation?
Goodbye, Leia. By the way, I'm breaking up with you.
I legitimately think his plan was that she would go back to Chicago. They would never actually break up. And then he would just be seeing other people and acting as if they had broken up when she was gone. I think he was counting on distance to just break
Like
it.
a true Kelso.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a true Kelso. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
No Kelso can be a true himbo because Michael Kelso eradicated the himbo genes from his own gene pool. They're entirely coming from Jackie.
He
Yeah.
does not respect women. And honestly, I don't know if Jackie respects women either.
That's fair, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. She doesn't. I never thought of it that way.
I feel like Jackie doesn't respect anyone. I feel like she's an equal opportunity disrespecter.
No, exactly. I think Jackie has no respect for people.
No. She is the physical embodiment of that old as fuck meme, like, I don't hate any race, gender, sexuality. I just hate people. I hate all of you equally.
She's the South Park of women.
Yeah.
She's the South Park.
She's the South Park of women.
That was a Tyler original.
That was good.
Love that for you, Tyler.
Anyway, Leia reacts very calmly and sprays cheese down Jay's pants.
Amazing.
You know, just like what a normal person would do in this situation.
I've heard worse. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Nikki probably takes a snapshot of the situation. I forget exactly,
so,
but she's
yeah.
taking
It
timed snapshots the entire time.
It's great because when Leia heard Jay said I hadn't told her that we're breaking up, she has a mouthful of cheese whiz, like fully coming out of her mouth.
Oh yeah, it's like an awkward silence. Then Nikki takes a photo,
which I'm sure she'll laugh about in hindsight.
But you know, Jay starts making his case about like, look, long distance is hard. We haven't been dating so long. I think it's best that you don't live near me. I think it's best that we just go our separate ways. When he says long distance is hard, he and Nate fist bump.
Yeah, he says long distance is hard, and then Nate goes hard, and then they fist bump. Yeah. I love him. Perfect. I love my good sweet boy, my good sweet himbo.
Perfect.
Nate is a himbo.
Nate is a himbo. Yeah.
Nate is a himbo. Unless we forget, a little later, Nate says long distance is nuts, and then they fist bump again.
Yeah, and then Jay goes nuts, and they fist bump again. Yep. Love it. Love this for them.
Yeah, but much to Leia's dismay, pretty much all of them agree, like, hey, maybe Jay's got a point. Especially Gwen is like, I was never on board with you dating Jay, and yeah, the long distance thing might be hard. Nikki says something about sometimes people need to go their separate ways, which worries Nate a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, Leia is shocked to hear that her friends don't support her in all this, and then she runs away from her own basement.
She says, don't follow me. I'm not afraid to use this cheese whiz on you. Yeah. And they just all stay in her house.
Yeah. Where is she going?
Yeah, they don't want to get cheese whizzed.
I've been very hung up on the fact that it's her house and they're all there when she's not. But also, like, where is Leia going?
Chicago.
Maybe she's going to the sex boulder.
Oh, yeah, she might be.
The sex boulder. Ah, yes, the sex boulder of Point Place, Wisconsin.
To commune with nature.
Yeah, and admire the imagery of the people having sex in the boulder. Yeah. Whatever it was. I don't know if it was called the sex boulder, but it was called something like that.
We can refer
truly
to
one
it
of
as
nature's greatest
boulder.
marvels.
People will know what we're saying.
Yeah.
Fans of that 90s show will know the famous.
If you're a real fan of that 90s show.
Yeah. Name all the sex boulders in that 90s show.
Okay, I got it. The sex boulder.
Yeah.
That's it.
Zach's a real fan.
I know. I've watched it. I've watched all 10 episodes now for the podcast.
Sex boulder number 5 is my favorite sex boulder.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is sex boulder number 5.
I wish I had more of a Mambo number 5 joke, but I'm like, I don't know what. Are the boulders called Monica? And
yeah, it's one of those things where like I had a good setup and I did not know where to go from there, but I had to say it because I thought it was very funny.
That. I just had no way to build off of it because I'm like, what's the Venn diagram of boulders and Mambo number 5?
A little bit of sex boulder in my life. A little bit of sex boulder by my side. Musical bits.
I'm like, is there something with like Lou Bega? Lou Boulder? That's not good.
It's not.
Yeah, anyway, we go over to the foreman's kitchen where Kitty isn't in a bad mood even though Leia's leaving. She's all good. She's hanging out and she's like, look, her boyfriend is here. Her best friends are here. Plus she loves my potato salad. So she's gonna be back. And immediately Leia storms up and says how much she hates her friends. Kitty informs her, Jay's calling, and the phone's ringing, and Leia picks it up and slams it back down. She's so mad. She's so mad at him.
Mad.
How dare Jay?
Yeah. So those are two of the three pillars of her strategy down the drain. Leia storms off and Gwen comes up and she's like, yeah, she's been like weird all day. I think she's sick from some weird potato salad. It's an L for Kitty.
What a day.
This episode is just Kitty taking L's.
Yeah.
Kitty's day has just gone from great to terrible in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What did she do to that potato salad? Oh, no.
You don't want to know what she did to that potato salad.
I mean, I don't think it was so sinister. I just think she sneezed all over it. That's the secret ingredient.
The secret ingredient is sneezing.
Phlegm.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's phlegm.
Phlegm.
It adds a texture to the potato salad that you really need for it to all come together.
Anyways, moving on. You know, as much as I'd love to talk about your phlegm and your potato salad, I would much rather talk about literally anything else.
Well, they all leave. They all storm off, leaving Red alone. And there's a line that I really like where he goes, "Oh no, don't everyone leave, so I'm all alone here with my newspaper." Red hates all of these people, including his wife.
Yeah, Red hates people.
He doesn't. Kitty's the one person in the world he doesn't hate.
Yeah.
No, Red hates everyone. He tolerates Kitty.
Tolerates Kitty, right? Yeah. Not his son. His son and daughter.
Not definitely not his
He loves
son.
his daughter.
hates
He
them.
loves his daughter.
Yeah, that's right. He does
He
love
hates
his
his
daughter,
son.
no matter.
Definitely not his son.
But Red is alone, so his dreams are finally accomplished.
Yeah.
Good for Red.
Yep.
At least
And then-
at least one person's happy in this episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not a long-lived happiness because then a tree falls down in the front yard.
Right, right.
Yep.
And he goes out and Sherry's like, wow, Red, that tree almost hit me. I'm going to sue you. And he's like, that tree came from your property. And she's like, oh, well, in that case, glad no one got hurt.
It's an act of God.
Could have
I
happened.
mean,
Happens
could
to
have
the best of
happened
us.
to
It's an
anyone.
act of God.
Yeah. Sherry's new old boyfriend comes out. Guys, who's Sherry's new old boyfriend?
Kelso?
Kelso? Yeah.
It's not Kelso.
Hyde? Like the
It's
fan
not
theories
Hyde.
say?
Hyde, I don't think there is a Hyde in this show. Who's that?
Who is Hyde?
Who is Hyde?
Is it like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? Like that kind of, like the old British story, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde?
Harrison, I've seen a lot of that 70s show and all of that 90s show. And I don't remember there being a character named Hyde, nor do I remember any actor who might have played him.
Right.
Or her. Who knows?
Right, clearly, I was being gaslit by that 70s show into believing that there is a character named Hyde who does not exist. Yeah.
I've never heard of Stephen Hyde. That just sounds...
That sounds fake. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fake
that
news.
sounds
And all
fake.
those fan
Yeah.
theories that he's somehow Gwen's father.
No, it's Fez. It's Fez, guys.
It's
Fez is
Fez.
back
Fez.
with Sherry. They fucking... Fez comes out with a towel. They got back together at Chili's.
That's right.
Chili's.
Yeah.
When
We
you're
need
here,
more-
your family.
we need more
I don't even know if
Chili's.
that's Chili's.
That's
obviously.
Olive Garden.
Cool.
That's 100% Olive Garden.
There is no
Awesome.
family at Chili's.
Chili's
no
is a
family.
realm where every man is for himself.
Chili's is an area of pure chaos.
There are no rules in Chili's.
There are only mistakes at Chili's.
Two men enter a Chili's. One with the brand new skillet and fuego.
Clearly,
That's my new
Chili's.
ad for Chili's. Please hire me, Chili's.
Clearly, we need to work for Chili's on their new marketing campaign.
Yeah, on their their new deathmatch campaign. Yeah.
That's the new version of one Pablo DePache. Please come on our podcast. Chili's, please hire us in your ad campaign.
Chili's, please allow us to host gladiatorial combat sessions in your restaurant.
Yes.
Please do it, Chili's. like a lot of restaurants, a lot of places try to appeal to families. They're like, we're a place for families. We're a place to make memories. I think Chili's brand should be, we're gonna kill you.
They give you the check and there's just a gun.
Yeah. You come into Chili's, you may never leave.
Really make you earn that meal. Those chicken crispers and those skillets.
Look, a family establishment, lame. A hellscape where anything may happen, that's cool as hell.
Let us be your Gritty. Tyler came up with this idea, but I love it. Let us be your Gritty. I will dress up as Gritty and hit the Gritty. As Gritty.
Gritty must be the most successful like marketing thing in this century, right? Yeah.
I recently was listening to a podcast where a person from Philadelphia was on it, and they mentioned Gritty, and it very quickly became clear that Gritty is a point of Philadelphia national pride.
I love it. Like that's what I mean.
Because Philadelphia is an agent of chaos, just like Gritty, the entire city.
Like there are probably more successful ad campaigns, but I remember when Gritty was unveiled and it was just like, hey, the Flyers have a new mascot. Here's this fucking monster. And every single person was like, what? Why? Why have you done this? What the fuck? And now we're at the point where like Gritty is an icon. Gritty is beloved. Gritty is a point of pride for the city.
Yes. Like it's the greatest turnaround.
Like Flow from Progressive isn't as beloved as Gritty.
Yeah, Gritty is just kind of the epitome of Philadelphia as a whole, honestly.
I think we should be like Japan, where everything has its own mascot, but they should all be Gritty-esque mascots.
It's just like Gritty in a different hat.
Every American city should have a Gritty.
Yes.
And it should be very stereotypical.
Iconic, yes.
Yeah.
New York's Gritty can be like eating pizza and like shouting at traffic.
We have a Surfer Dude Gritty for California.
Yeah, Surfer Dude Gritty for California. Florida's Gritty is wearing like sunglasses and he's on meth.
Yeah.
So Gritty. So just normal Gritty.
Right. Sorry, that's Gritty. Yeah, Florida's Gritty is also just
Gritty.
Florida just gets Gritty.
Anyway, what were we talking about? Fez is here.
Fez is here.
I'm going to say a sentence that makes sense. Fez is kind of the Gritty of that 70s show.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just like take an episode of that 70s show and replace Fez with Gritty, and it is the same episode.
Oh, that's a great pitch for a remastered Blu-ray.
Oh my god, yes.
And they digitally edit in Gritty.
Wait, no, don't replace Fez with Gritty. Replace Hyde with Gritty.
Replace this Hyde character with Gritty.
Wait, replace that imaginary character Hyde with Gritty.
Yeah, that way we don't have to worry about Danny Masterson.
Wilder Valderrama will play Gritty as Hyde.
What if Gritty showed up on that 90s show and everyone was like, Hyde, you're back. And that's how they sidestep.
That's how they do it.
Oh my god! I thought you were gonna say Gritty comes on like that 70s show, and they're like, Gritty, you're here. You're not supposed to be here until like the 2020s.
Gritty transcends time. We really do have to get off of Gritty. But yeah, Red drives Sherry away by saying like, you gotta call your landlord and deal with that downed tree. And Fez tells Red that he wants to call the landlord to show he's invested in the relationship, that he's there for Sherry. And then like his towel drops and Red sees his full penis.
He sees his Gritty. I'm sorry, I had to.
We're done. That's it. No more Gritty talk. Though tune into our new upcoming podcast, Gritty Talk, where we just talk about Gritty an hour-long chunk.
And Gritty, fun fact, we're co-hosting that podcast with Gritty, who just stands in the corner menacingly the entire time because he doesn't speak.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, Leia is packing up. She's mad at her friends, and Kitty's trying to convince her like, no, you want to come back next summer. And Leia's like, no, I do not.
I hate this place.
Grandma. This is the worst place. My boyfriend broke up with me, and all my friends think long distance isn't viable. And then Donna shows up.
Yay! In her terrible wig.
Yeah, in her bad wig.
Which isn't that bad, but we all noticed it's a wig, and now I can't unsee it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Leia doesn't want to come back. And Donna talks to Leia. Oh, first, Donna finds out that Leia is dating a Kelso.
Yeah, and that Kitty didn't mention this.
Yes.
Even though I would think that would be the most important news.
I love that, like, Kitty talks to Donna on a regular basis to detail, like, what's going on with Leia, and conveniently forgot to mention that A, she's dating a Kelso, and B, this is mentioned later in the scene, that they went to a rave. She brings it up like, oh no, you had all the great times. You remember like the thing, the 4th of July, the rave, and then Donna's like, you went to a rave? And Donna's like, oh, stop being such a square, Donna.
You know what? Maybe Kitty was being strategic, because if I found out that my child was dating a Kelso, I would immediately take my Valium from the previous episode, drive down the shoulder of the lane all the way to Point Place, Wisconsin, and take Leia away.
That's a good point. I would have loved it if Donna was like, wait, so the sex boy that I came here to stop you from sexing was a Kelso?
That's right.
No, Mom. The sex boy that you came here to stop me from sexing was my gay friend, Ozzy. Jay Kelso is a different sex boy.
The totally different sex boy. I've sexed him real good.
But Kitty is working really hard to sell Point Place. For some reason, I took that note down as Kitty is working hard on the pee-pee train.
A real insight into Mark's creative process.
I abbreviate a lot of things. I abbreviate character names to like single letters. As I was writing it, I was like, this is silly, but I'm going to abbreviate Point Place to PP. And now reading it back, I'm not proud.
All aboard the pee-pee train. Choo choo.
Chugga 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 chugga
Oh God.
We're going past a bunch of waterfalls.
But Donna talks to Leia, who's telling her like, look, it was the perfect summer and now it's ruined. And Donna tells Leia, look, breakups are hard. I broke up with your father a lot. I dated Casey Kelso for a time. And Leia has a similar reaction. When Donna finds out she's dating Jay Kelso, she goes, a Kelso? And when Leia finds out Donna dated Casey Kelso, she goes, a Kelso? And did Leia know what a Kelso was before this summer?
No.
I mean, I have to assume she knew a little bit, right? Like, you know, Dad, who just shouted "burn" into the phone as he was rambling about his awesome date with Jackie over the phone.
Harrison. Yeah. Kelso doesn't know how a phone works.
Kelso hasn't mastered long distance communication. He hasn't spoken with Eric in years.
Yeah.
Donna tells her, like, look, it can be rough, but you know who helped me through things? My friends. What if there was a cutaway to like a Friends sequence? It's the 90s. It's 94. Friends had been airing.
A cutaway where all the kids are like dancing in a fountain, like the opening of Friends.
Why didn't we get any Friends references in this show? I'm mad now.
We should have. That's for season 2.
For next season
2.
Ooh, Leia's gonna get the Rachel.
Ooh.
They're gonna do it.
I don't know what the Rachel is.
It was a very famous haircut. It was Jennifer Aniston's haircut in the first season of Friends.
Right. Okay.
I just want a really ham-fisted, like, she comes back next summer and they're like, did you see that new show, Friends? I don't think it's gonna last.
They come back and the actor for Jay Kelso has been replaced with Matt LeBlanc.
Leia walks in and he goes, how you doing?
And Leia's like, who is this weird middle-aged man? And he's like, I'm your boyfriend, Jay Kelso.
Don't you recognize me?
Now that I think about it, Joey and Jay Kelso are suspiciously similar.
Yeah, no, if we're talking about Friends, Jay is the Joey. Jay Kelso is the Joey.
They also kind of look alike.
They do. They do look alike. That's also what I'm thinking.
But anyway, we go over to the Runk house. Did you forget that Sherry, Nate, and Gwen's last name was Runk? Because I
sure did.
I had blocked it from my memory.
Oh, I fully did not know until you said that. Yeah.
We go over to their house where Fez is hanging out with Sherry. Gwen comes up and says, "Is this the guy who used all my body wash?" Fez used all of Gwen's body wash because he likes the cucumber melon smell.
Yeah, a fellow cucumber melon enjoyer.
Yep.
He's very thorough with his cucumber melon smell.
Well, yeah, you got to smell like both cucumbers and melons.
Mm-hmm. Gwen asks for like $20 and wanting to be part of the family and show Sherry that he's there for her kids. He squeezes his hand into his very tight pants and very laboriously takes out some money and gives her the only thing he could fish out, which was a $50 bill.
Oh my god. I love that now that skinny jeans are in fashion, Fez's life is ruined. He's committing crimes against his body for that perfect butt.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sherry's landlord comes around, and guys, ding dong, it's Jim Rash as Fenton from that 70s show.
Yay! So if you were wondering why we opened up with the Dean rap.
Yes, that is why we did that. I am the least familiar with that 70s show out of the three of us, probably. I did not know that Jim Rash was an existing character on the show.
Yes.
I actually didn't either. This is the first time I'm seeing the character Fenton.
It's very funny to me when I see him in other things because he is the Dean from Community.
Yeah. He plays 1 to 2 other characters in that 70s show because there's an episode...
Really?
There's an episode where Eric is secretly buying an engagement ring for Donna, and he goes to like the jewelry store, and Jim Rash is playing the guy working the counter. And the joke is that he's like putting all the jewelry on himself to model it for Eric. And then later he comes in as Fenton, who's Fez's rival.
Amazing.
I don't know if they're supposed to be the same character, so he plays at least one character.
I love that Fez has a rival.
I love the idea that there's like there are 2 Jim Rashes out in that 70s show universe.
Yeah, there's 2 guys who look exactly like Jim Rash.
Potentially an entire family of Jim Rashes, much like Nurse Joy and Pokemon.
Yeah, it's like a Nurse Joy. There's just a bunch of Jim Rashes out there.
I'm really it makes me so happy that Jim Rash was in the last episode of Friends, that he gets that he just slides right in there at the very end.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Was he on the plane?
He's on the plane next to Rachel.
Right.
And he starts freaking out when Phoebe says that the plane lost a phalange.
Yes, I remember now.
He's really good in it. And by the way, our wonderful producer Tyler just checked. Fenton according to Wikipedia, he's only Fenton in that 70s show. So Fenton is the man who sells Eric his engagement ring.
I love that he like owns a jewelry store and is also rivals with a high school kid.
Yeah. I was going to say they may have graduated. I think they graduated by the point. So he's only rivals with someone just out of high school.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, Fenton is Sherry's landlord. I have my next note is I love Jim Rash, which I think we've covered.
Yeah. I feel like that's a given.
Yeah. He tells Fez, it's very important that he tells Fez that he has a TV in his bathroom. He talks about like taking bubble baths and watching TV. And he says, that's right. I have a TV in my bathroom.
Got him.
Fez and Fenton bicker. And then Fenton, out of sheer spite, raises Sherry's rent and forbids Fez from having any of his Dippin' Dots.
How dare he?
Yep.
Now Fez will never be able to experience the ice cream of the future.
You ever tried Dippin' Dots recently? Not quite as I remembered them.
Yeah, I feel I cannot remember the last time I had Dippin' Dots.
It's been a while since I've had Dippin' Dots. I had them sporadically as a kid. And I do know,
same.
like, through high school, I think up to now, other people will go like, oh, you remember Dippin' Dots? Oh, we should totally do Dippin' Dots. And I've always been like, why? You can get regular ice cream.
Yeah.
It's oddly cold in the beginning, and then
It
becomes
is.
slightly more pleasant when it starts to become regular ice cream.
Yeah, and you gotta like bite into, and it's like hard like
Ugh.
dots that you gotta bite into,
Yeah,
and it's cold, and it's like I don't want to do this.
Maybe Fenton is going to regret his investment in Dippin' Dots.
We come back next year. We come back next season like a year later, and Fenn is bankrupt and homeless because his Dippin' Dots investments didn't pan out.
I put all my money into Dippin' Dots.
There's at least one Dippin' Dots machine at every amusement park.
It's true.
Yeah, I feel
So
like the only times I have had
yeah.
Dippin' Dots, like in recent memory, have been like at amusement parks.
Of course.
Yeah.
Amusement parks are keeping Dippin' Dots alive. Let's be honest.
Oh, they're
Yes.
single-handedly.
Kitty meets Jay at the hub, at the diner they all hang out in. Jay asks, "How did you know I was here?" And Kitty says, "This is my town. I have eyes everywhere." And Kitty tells Jay that Leia's so upset she might not come back this summer, which Jay takes strongly. He's upset by that. And then Kitty says, "This isn't about you."
I like that.
Yeah.
That was a great line.
Yeah.
We love Kitty.
And
We love Kitty.
she wants them together so Leia will come back. But Jay is worried. He says, "What if Leia meets someone else? What if I'm hired to be in the next Karate Kid and I have to move to Reseda?"
I don't think that's how being in the Karate Kid works.
Well, I
Jay.
don't know, Harrison.
You have to
Have you
move-
ever been in the Karate Kid?
Checkmate.
No,
Then I
but
don't
what
think
I'm
you're an
saying is you
authority
don't
on
have
this
to
matter.
move to Reseda. You don't have to move to Reseda. You have to move to Okinawa.
How do you know
That's
that?
the whole
You've-
Karate Kid process.
How do you know that? You've never been in the Karate Kid.
I've heard stories, Zach. I've heard stories from Ralph Macchio.
Harrison, you'd tell me if you were in the Karate Kid, right?
Well, no, I wouldn't tell you.
Harrison,
I would tell
are-
Tyler.
are you Ralph Macchio? You have to legally tell me if you're Ralph Macchio if I ask you if you're Ralph Macchio. You legally have to tell me.
I legally have to tell you. Yeah, I legally have to tell you.
So are
Okay,
you
I'm
Ralph
not
Macchio?
actually Ralph Macchio.
Damn
I'm
it.
not Ralph Macchio. I'm William Zabka.
I know people really like Cobra Kai, but I do think it's funny that they were like, "We'll do a Karate Kid sequel. The hero is the villain from the first one."
Well, it was all because of How I Met Your Mother, right?
Yeah,
like that was
basically, yeah.
that's how that happened.
That's
Yeah.
insane, right? A sitcom makes a joke about one of the characters being like, "No, the real Karate Kid is William Zabka. That's my favorite character from the movie." And somehow that becomes a spin-off TV show.
That is in some ways more popular than the original
Yeah,
movie.
that people like watch and like. That's crazy.
Yeah, that show is
Yeah.
great. Watch Cobra Kai.
Where is my Biff
Yeah.
Tannen TV show where he doesn't travel through time? He's just mad at Marty McFly.
He doesn't travel through time. He just lives his normal life, and Marty McFly in a different costume shows up every episode to mess with him
Yeah.
in some way.
I mean, that movie does end with Biff becoming George's personal servant, and it's very much clear that George is just bullying
Yeah.
him,
So-
which he totally deserves because he's
So
Biff.
do you think our
But,
Biff
like,
spinoff is like about modern Biff, who's like a sad man who's
Yes.
like under the thumb of George
that-
McFly? Or is it like The Crown, where we recast every few seasons
Ooh.
and tell like a long story about the fall of Biff Tannen?
I like that, actually.
I kind of love
that
your
idea.
pitch. And then, yeah. And then in the final season, he's a sad man named Biff Tannen. Yeah.
Universal Studios, if you're listening to this podcast,
It can be an anthology because, as we find out in the Back to the Future series, there is a Biff Tannen in every time. So, like, every season is
Right,
about a
he
yeah.
different
just
Biff.
exists.
This is a good show idea. We should pitch this.
Yeah.
We should make this.
Yeah.
This is our spin-off.
We can start with the Wild West,
Yeah.
or we can go back further to medieval
Yeah.
times.
We go,
There's definitely
we
a
go
medieval
back to the
Biff.
Stone Age with caveman Biff.
medieval.
Sir Biffington of Cornwall.
Yeah, I love this. I love our
Of
Biff.
House Tannen. Anyway, Kitty tells Jay a story about how you gotta stick it out and make things work. When she had a boyfriend she really loved who went off to war, and she didn't break up with him. They stuck together, and he's like, "That was Red," and she was like, "No, I think his name was Steve." And he goes, "So long distance doesn't work." And she's like, "That's not the point. The point is you have to try." And I think Kitty,
I like
and
that.
Kitty, I think the point of the story is that long distance didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless he came back and then they broke up.
You know, Red arrives at her front door and he says, I needed to give you back this engagement ring. It was Steve's. He lost it when he died in the war.
And that's how I met your mother.
We scene for scene remake the movie Pearl Harbor, but
with Kurtwood Smith.
But with Kurtwood Smith, and he's just talking about kicking people's asses a lot.
I love this. I think this would be better than Pearl Harbor, based on what I know of that movie.
But Kitty tells Jay that he's got to try, and she squeezes his hand, and he goes, "You're squeezing my hand pretty hard." And she goes, "I open a lot of mayonnaise jars."
That grip strength. You need it. You need it to run a home.
I liked that. Anyway, Leia goes over to the Runk house to look for Gwen to say goodbye and apologize to her friend for getting mad. But she can't find Gwen, so she talks to Nate, best boy. And Nate tells Leia that he doesn't actually agree with the rest of the group. He just didn't want to say anything, but he's worried that Nikki is going to break up with him and they're going to go their separate ways.
And then they shocked all of us.
Yeah.
How would we possibly have seen this coming? Except for the previous episode where it kind of hinted he was a little bit into Leia. Nate was a little bit into Leia. Right?
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that either.
Because he goes up to Jay and is like, yeah, you've got such a great girl. I was so upset today and Leia was the only one who listened to me.
Okay.
That's what I'm getting at.
Okay.
Yeah. So they set it up a little bit beforehand, but even so,
I don't like it.
The thing
I don't like it either.
The thing we're reacting to, because I don't think we said what happens, is
let's get to it.
Leia and Nate almost kiss.
No.
They start talking about how great it is to find that special someone who it's always so easy to be around and talk to. And it's like, you have done none of this. You guys have just been friends the entire time.
They are having a very candid conversation with each other in that moment. One that Nate specifically is like, I didn't want to tell anybody else this, but I'm going to be honest with you.
Okay.
And confide this
fair.
in you.
Yeah.
That's, I thought,
I don't dislike the chemistry between the two. I think more my complaint is it's a little Harley Ivy-ish. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I think
to drop this at the last moment, right?
Yeah, I believe you're referring to the Harley Quinn TV show where I'm not against Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, but I think it was very artificial the way they pushed them together.
Yeah, that's
season 2.
more what I mean. To bring it up this late in the game.
No, I'm with you. I just mean that line didn't ring false to me because that's what they were doing in this scene.
Okay, fair enough.
I also just want to say, before we leave this scene, I really liked Nate's line. He has a line where he says, "What's more powerful than love? Lightning? Maybe lightning."
I love that.
Love that.
So that's so beautiful. That's like the one guy in poetry class who it's just a himbo, and he's just like, yes, lightning is the most powerful thing in the world. Yeah, it's
right
so
up
poetic.
and second to lightning is love.
But they almost kiss, and it's very weird.
And Gwen walks in
and
sees them.
And when she sees them, they stop, ashamed. And we go over, guys, to the foreman's basement, where we're doing a circle, you guys. And who's in the circle? Fez.
Fez is in the circle.
One of my favorite random circle groupings. We have Nikki, Ozzy, and Fez.
Yes. Fez is doing drugs with children. Grown-ass man just smoking some pot with 16-year-olds.
Maybe he started their circle. Maybe he was just like, I need to go get some weed. And he just walked in, grabbed the Candyland box, opened it up.
It's just very good because Fez is like, I just, Fenton gets on my nerves so much, but I don't want to hurt Sherry. I don't know what to do. And it swings over to Nikki, who goes, "Who are you?" And then it swings over to Ozzy, who goes, "I think he's banging Gwen's mom."
Perfect.
Yep.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And then we flash back to that 70s show, to one of their circles. I think from like the end of season 1, Eric, Jackie, and Kelso and Fez decides that he has to let go of his grudge with Fenton for Sherry, to help Sherry.
We don't exactly know how he got to this conclusion. I think it was sort of related to what Kelso was talking about in the scene. Like something about love or whatever.
Well, his mind has been expanded as well.
Yeah.
And then Donna shows up and is like, Fez, what are you doing here? And he's like, I'm banging the lady next door. Look, it's my good friend Donna.
Oh my god.
Yep.
I love their interaction in this scene, and I love that she touches his chest and he immediately goes, "No, I can't. I'm Eric's best friend."
I love it. And we don't know. It maybe has been years since he's seen Eric, but I really love, I'm Eric's best friend. And the implication of that, I'm not sure what is funnier. If Fez hasn't seen Eric for years and is like, I'm his best friend, and it's like Fez doesn't have another best friend and Eric is still his best friend. Or if Fez assumes that Eric is all alone and has no friends. And is like, I have plenty of friends, but I'm Eric's best friend.
You know what? That's not a bad assumption to come to. He teaches a class about Star Wars. I mean, let's be real.
That is true.
Of Star Wars.
That's what Eric has been doing with his life. He goes to space camp.
Yep.
Anyway.
Space camp.
We cut over to Gwen and Leia at the water tower where they're hanging out, and Gwen's going like, how? Why? In regard to her almost kissing Nate.
Yeah. That's our question too, kind of.
Just absolutely flabbergasted. All of her gasps are flabbered. All of her flabbers are gasted. Am I having a stroke?
Yes.
I think you're onto something with that second one. All our flabbers are gasted.
All our flabbers are gasted. And then Gwen starts laughing because she's remembering Leia at the beginning of the summer, who'd never drank beer or kissed a boy. And look at her now, almost making out with her kind of ex-boyfriend's best friend.
Who is also in a relationship. After they drank a keg the last night. She couldn't be more proud. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But Gwen says, like, look, you two didn't kiss and you don't owe Jay anything. So they sort of agree to not talk about it. And Gwen says, like, Leia, you're going to go back to Chicago. You're going to call me every day and you're going to come right back at the beginning of next summer. So they've
you know what I just
made
realized?
Their peace. Yeah.
What?
You know what I just realized?
What?
They're gonna do the whole thing. You said there was no Friends reference. However, Jay suggested breaking up. Jay went on a break with Leia, and then she almost kissed Nate. They were on a break.
I bet
they were on a break.
I bet all of this stuff is gonna come out in season 2, and there's gonna be a point where someone says, like Friends, you were on a break.
Like Ross and Rachel.
Wait, guys, that's crazy.
Oh my god.
Because Friends started in 1994. The season 1 of that 90s show takes place in 1995. So Friends season 1 is like maybe in the middle of airing, or it's summer. So let's say Friends season 1 has aired probably. So Friends season 2 will have aired at the beginning of that 90s show season 2.
Right.
And it's season 3 is when Ross and Rachel are dating, and it's mid season 3, of course, when they break up and Ross sleeps with someone else and then they get back together and they were on a break. So it wouldn't make any sense for them to reference Friends in that configuration.
Well, we got to play the long game here. You know, we have a lot of space to work with in season. Maybe season 2 takes place in 1996. You have no idea. They might just skip a year.
True.
They just skip like 5 years. It's 1999.
God.
Wow.
That'd be a bizarre
New
creative
Year's
choice.
Eve, 1999. I never thought it would come to this. Anyway. But they decide before they leave the water tower to have one more act of rebellion, and Gwen takes out some cans of spray paint. We don't see what they painted just yet. We go back to the Runk house. where Fenton has shown up and he's taken out the tree and he's fixed things. He's relented, and Sherry's like, Fez, how did you get him to back down? And then Fenton takes off his hard hat to reveal long, luxurious hair.
He's beautiful.
Beautiful.
He takes off the hat and he's beautiful.
It looks like a romance novel character.
He does. Yeah, he's got like Fabio vibes.
I pointed it out while we were watching, but I do just want to point it out again. Jim Rash is wearing a Dean-style fancy costume.
Yes. Complete with luxurious wig.
Yeah. But Fez got him a wig made of real hair, which I may be writing in a joke that didn't happen. I may be remembering a joke. Did he say like came from a dog?
Yes.
Yeah, he said it came, he says it comes from a dog.
And that's his way of winning, which I love.
Yeah.
But, so Fez won, and
he's bested his rival on this day.
Bested his rival. I think Sherry says something to him, and it turns Fez on, and he says, like, who knows why these things happen to my body? My body is a puzzle. And Sherry says, well, why don't we go to my bedroom and fit those puzzle pieces together? And Fez says, well, I wanted to have sex, but sure, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, we can do your thing, I guess.
Yep. We go over
that weed is still hitting him a little bit.
We go over to the foreman's driveway. Leia is leaving. She thanks Red, who tells her like, goodbye, kiddo. And the basement is off limits to all of your friends while you're gone. And then
there's
Kitty
also another thing where he's like, I loved having you around. Just you.
Yeah.
Not your idiot friends who cannot come into my goddamn basement anymore.
He tells her that the basement is off limits, and then Kitty runs in, gives her a big hug, and says, your friends can use the basement as much as they like when you're gone. I love it.
And you see Red in the background just going like, God damn it.
Yeah.
I love the implication that they will still be there in the basement all fall and winter.
Well, Kitty liked having friends around. Yep. Or Kitty liked having teens around. But yeah, Nate comes by, and Leia's like, hey, look, it was nothing. And then Nate says, like, no, it's not nothing. Because Nate might have feelings for Leia.
Yeah.
But then Jay comes over with all the others, and Jay tells Leia that he did some soul searching and a crap ton of karate, and he doesn't want to break up anymore. Best line of the episode. I'm sorry.
Best line. I needed to let you say
episode.
Yeah.
It comes so out of nowhere.
He did a crap ton
I did some soul searching and a crap ton of karate in addition to the soul searching. I did both at the same time. It was pretty fucking epic.
It's fantastic.
I'm really glad they're running with the karate thing.
I love it.
Yes, it's such a bizarre nerdy boy interest. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. But yeah, Jay wants to get back together. Leia tells him that she's a little confused, and Jay kisses her, content that they're back together and there are no problems, and she's not at all in love with his best friend. And then Gwen like ushers her towards the car, or like ushers Jay away and says, she'll call you from Chicago. And before she leaves, Leia says to Nikki, I am so sorry. And Nikki's like, why? And Leia says, no reason. And then she gets in the car and leaves.
Yeah.
And they drive off. And Ozzy, who, if you remember, at the beginning of the episode said that he's not going to miss Leia, he gets very emotional and starts screaming as the car goes. No!
Great reincorporation.
Very
we
good.
love our boy Ozzy reconnecting with his feelings.
It's a good callback. And then it ends with Leia in the car. She's looking at the photos, and we just see a montage of all the photos that they took both that night and that Nikki has been taking throughout the course of the episode. And it's really fun and sweet. And then it ends with the water tower where Leia and Gwen spray painted Leia and Gwen 95.
That's
It's
great.
nice. It's nice.
Not as epic as the Mara Water
No.
Leaf, but it's a step in the right direction. Yeah.
You know what else is a step in the right direction for this episode?
What is it?
Our favorite segment that we do at the end of every episode of the podcast.
What is it? It's not ringing
I'm not
any
sure
bells.
what you're referring to.
It's Sad Boy of the Week.
Sad Boy of the Week, of
Oh.
course.
Yay!
I thought you were going to say doing karate in the woods on a tree, because, we do that every week.
No, Harrison,
I
that's
know.
after we stop recording.
I would like to nominate Kitty.
Kitty, I think
Kitty
is
is a
very
great
good nomination,
nominee for this
actually.
episode.
Kitty is
yeah.
very good.
Yeah, who is not freaking out because she's so certain that Leia's gonna want to come back because of her boyfriend and her friends and the potato salad, and then one by one finds out that Leia is mad at her friends, has broken up with her boyfriend, hates his guts, and also got sick from her potato salad.
Perfect B plot.
She's trying really hard to like sell Leia on Point Place and coming back, and it's just not working. She tracks Jay down through her network, her Point Place network.
Her network of spies.
Yeah.
She has 2 ravens, and they go out and search at night.
Of course, Kitty has the ravens Hugin and Munin thought and memory, which survey Point Place, Wisconsin, bringing back scraps of knowledge for her.
Of course. Yes, Kitty the All-Mother.
Yes.
Yes. And in the end, she does get what she desired,
Yep.
I think.
Well, I do also want...
She comes out on top.
I really like her tracking down Jay, and I do also just want to point out how she's like, look, your breakup isn't about you, this is about me, and also squeezes his hand so hard, just like threatening this boy.
I also love that her great story about long distance being a good thing you should try ends very badly.
Yeah, it's not red.
Yeah.
It's not great.
Her story ends badly, and also she does get what she wants, and she is victorious in this, but I just do really like Red going, they're not allowed in my basement, and Kitty going, they're absolutely allowed in the basement.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. We need more kids in the basement. Yeah.
I mean, I think Leia could also be nominated.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leia definitely should be nominated.
Yep. Nate's...
I'm nominating Fez, though.
Oh, Fez is...
Fez, I think, is a good
there's
one.
no room for Leia in my life.
Do we want to run...
We only have Fez here.
Leia mainly because she finds out secondhand that her boyfriend was going to break up with her, and then she spray cheeses him.
While her mouth is full of cheese whiz.
While her mouth is full of cheese whiz. I don't know if there's so much else for Leia this episode, but it's good.
I mean, in some ways, Leia's kind of a glad boy. I mean, she's got 2 boys kind of fighting over her.
That's true. Fez is
I was gonna say because she has like the whole like internal struggle. I mean, Leia was gonna be my nomination, but I think looking through, there are some pretty good other ones too.
I mean, internal struggle, sure. I'm just like, you know me, I like that patheticness.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't think about some of these earlier, and I do like them.
Fez, who got back together with Sherry at Chili's.
Yes.
Which is already sad.
Wanders out in only a towel when a tree falls down in her yard. Accidentally flashes Red.
Yep.
We find out uses Sherry's daughter's body wash.
And cannot fit in his pants.
Cannot fit into his pants.
Yeah, his girlfriend's rent is raised because her landlord is his rival.
Yes. Also, he gives his girlfriend's daughter $50 when she was only asking for $20 because he just can't get into his own pockets.
Yep.
He gets his girlfriend's rent raised because his rival is her landlord. He gets high with a bunch of children. And then he is victorious in the end, but he's only victorious because he makes a long wig for a bald man out of dog hair.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And I mean, also, if we want to throw it out, also Nate has an internal struggle. Nate keeps dropping their keg.
His baby.
His baby. He's
dropped
worried.
His baby.
He's worried Nikki is going to break up with him. He spills the beans about the breakup.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think after your last minute nomination, Harrison, I'm gonna have to vote Fez. I think Fez takes it for me.
I think Fez takes it for me too.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter what I vote, so I'm gonna vote Fez anyway.
You can stick up for someone. You can throw them a
You can
point.
sit
No,
up- yeah, we've
I
done
don't
that
have any
before.
strong feelings about anybody,
Okay.
so I'll go with Fez because
Okay.
I think
Alright.
he's pretty great.
Fez is
Yeah.
pretty great in this episode.
Weird character to win the final sad
Yeah.
boy, but I'm more curious to hear who the final winner of the season is.
Yes, Tyler is quickly crunching the numbers for us right now.
Using the complicated sad boy algorithm.
He's sending it
where
our
he
way.
tallies up the winners.
It's so complicated.
Fez won. Fez won sad boy.
Fez won sad
Really?
boy? Damn.
No, he didn't
Wait.
win sad boy of the. No, it's Leia and Nate are tied.
Oh.
I meant Fez won this week. I was
Oh.
trying to get us back to the podcast.
Yes, Fez won
Okay,
this
gotcha.
week.
Wait, did
the
we enter
overall
it?
winner for season 1 is Leia and Nate. Maybe they are meant for each other.
Yeah, you know
Yeah.
what? Maybe that's why. They're the saddest characters. They're meant to be together.
I did have that thought that they're both pretty sad.
They are both pretty sad.
To recap the sad boy standings of that 90s show, the most important part of the podcast, we have
course.
Leia with 3 wins, Nate with 3 wins, and Eric,
Mhm.
Nikki, Sherry, and Fez each with 1 win. So,
Damn, I thought Fez got at least 2.
so
Okay.
I mean, it's anyone's game as long as anyone means Nate or Leia.
I mean, they're only ahead by 2. I feel like that's doable.
Yeah, no, I'm
Yeah,
joking
yeah.
more than anything. Just that we have a bunch of people with 1 and then 2 people with 3.
Nikki's gonna walk into next season going, I broke up with Nate and
He took the
I got
kids.
ice and I bought ice cream to wallow in my pain, and then a child kicked me in the shins and I dropped the ice cream cone. And then Nikki immediately wins.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yep. But, you know,
Here
we'll
we
have
go.
to wait until season 2 of that 90s show comes out because at least at the time of recording, I don't think it'll be out by the time this episode goes live, but I'm saying this just in case. It's not out yet, at least during the time of recording. But that's going to do it for this episode of Rewatch Party and this season of that 90s show. Whoa!
Yay!
Guys, we made it! We did
We
it!
made it.
Make sure that you, the listener, make sure that you rate, review, subscribe, all that fun podcast stuff. You know what to do. And if you like what you just listened to, make sure you like our Facebook page and then follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Rewatch Party Pod. We'll see you again next time for another show. Once again, I'm Zach Horowitz.
I'm Mark Green.
And I'm Harrison Bloom.
And until next time, keep rewatching and do a crap ton of karate. Hey-ya!